Good morning. It is Monday. It is September 30th, and we have got a heck of a week ahead of us, and we're kind of starting off on a little bit of a rough, funky note here, okay? So today the moon is in Virgo. That is putting Mercury in charge. It's really kind of about like putting in the work, taking care of the details and things of that nature. Virgo is like a service of others type of energy as well, where people really want to take care of other people. But Mercury will be moving into an exact conjunction with the sun right around 3 p.m. Mountain Time today, in the sign of Libra. Now, Libra's ruling planet, Venus, is in Scorpio. So when it comes to these one-on-one interactions, relationships, friendships, partnerships, things of those natures, you're kind of wanting to get like a little bit on the deeper side, dig to the root of a problem, try to figure out how to fix it, right? But we're also contending with Jupiter and Gemini, trying to keep everything lighthearted and kind of jokester type of energy. So this conjunction with the sun and Mercury in Libra could really like make everything very clear when it comes to your relationships and your pretty much any one-on-one interactions with others. We also have Mars still in a trine to Saturn retrograde. Again, that's a icky energy. Like, just a trine is a nice aspect technically, but it's basically just a wide open door where anything on the other side comes flying through. In this particular case, it seems to have been a hurricane and massive flash flooding. But it is in the water signs, right? It's in Pisces and Cancer. And this morning, actually, the moon will come along and oppose Saturn and sextile Mars. There could be like some emotional outbursts today. There could be some extremely emotional conversations that really bring things to light, that really show you everything that's going on. With that Sun-Mercury conjunction happening right by the South Node, this is really showing you what you need to let go of, who you need to let go of, who you need to release, what kind of people-pleasing and like just giving up your own happiness for other people's happiness. Like it's really going to show you those kinds of things today as we move into the eclipse that is on Wednesday. So really listen to how things are coming out. Don't delude yourself. Don't gaslight yourself. Also, watch your temper. That trine between Mars and Saturn can bring a lot of feistiness as well, especially when it comes to emotional types of things, okay? I'm not a fan of this energy, but at the same time, this is really bringing a lot of stuff to light. Like it's rough, it's difficult, but it's necessary. We can't be all butterflies and rainbows all the time, right? Sometimes you got to deal with the hard stuff, okay? And today is kind of one of those days where we're really being faced with the hard things that, especially if you've been avoiding these hard things, this is like these moments this week in particular is where that avoidance may kind of blow up in your face and force you to face it, okay? Our energy of the day is the Ten of Wands. It's a heavy energy. It feels like the weight of the world is on your shoulders. It feels exhausting and overwhelming, okay? So it's really difficult, again, like I said, but it's a necessary difficult. You got to decide which ones of these wands are you going to lay down? How much are you carrying that you don't need to be carrying? How many of these wands are other people's wands, right? Like, how many of them do you need to hand back to those people and say, you know what, you need to deal with your own stuff, okay? So really, that energy of the day is, if you are feeling very heavy, very overwhelmed, very dysregulated, pay attention to the people in your orbit that maybe are feeding that energy of feeling like things are too much, okay? What we need to focus on is the Two of Wands. This is making a decision. This is a decision to move forward for something that feeds your fire, something that helps you with your enjoyment of life, right? Something that you're passionate about. So what is it that you're wanting for yourself? This nodal axis, and again, the eclipse, it's a solar eclipse with the South Node in Libra that's coming up on Wednesday. This is about starting something new, but having to release something first in order to be able to do it, okay? So really make sure that you're really paying attention to where you are feeling like you are out of place and where you need to what you need to do to move forward for yourself, okay? What we are avoiding, here's what we're not going to do. We are not going to let people try to convince us that things were better where we were than they are where we're going, okay? This Six of Cups is like reminiscing, and that Mars and Cancer and Pisces, Saturn being retrograde especially, this has a lot of ties to the past. Water energy in general kind of sucks at letting go of the past. So it really, don't let people convince you that you should go backwards. Don't let them convince you that, my favorite one is I just want things to be the way they used to be. And I could go on a rant for this for hours, but most of us know that the way things used to be when we first got together or when we first became friends was really just that person wearing a mask to fool you into being around them until you were hooked, right? Keep that in mind. Don't allow people to drag you backwards right now. We need to be moving forward, and we need to be moving forward for our individual selves, not for everybody else, okay? Bottom of the deck is that Nine of Pentacles. So this is really giving me this feeling of like the underlying energy here is, where do you feel stable? Where do you feel abundant? And that doesn't have to do with money. It could also be just about comfort and stability as well. Again, who is making you feel dysregulated? Who in your energy makes you feel anxious, like you have to walk on eggshells, like you have to watch what you say, and you have to be very careful about your movements and your actions and your tone of voice? Like, who is giving you that ick, right? Those are probably the people that need to go, because these are people that are not allowing you to be who you truly are. These are people who want you to give up your happiness in order for them to maintain their happiness. And we're not doing that anymore, okay? So really, throughout the day, where are you feeling anxious? Who's around you when you're feeling anxious? Like, this is kind of a energy where we want to read people's energy rather than listening to their words, I guess I would say. But that Sun-Mercury conjunction is just really going to bring out the clarity in things. So pay attention to what comes up today. It's going to tell you what direction you need to move. Couple clarifiers here for our Ten of Wands. And quite honestly, you may have seen a little bit of this over the weekend as well. And it may not have been any actual event, but it could have been like just aha moments. So most folks already know exactly what they need to do. We're just fighting it because nobody wants to let go of people that they care about, right? So we have Nine of Cups here. So Nine of Cups is wish fulfillment. Here we go. That makes a ton of sense. So Nine of Cups and Two of Pentacles, right? So Nine of Cups being that wish fulfillment, being emotional fulfillment, right? It's like things are feeling so heavy because maybe you're chasing your dreams. Maybe you are doing what you need to do for your wish fulfillment, but maybe you don't have the support. Maybe other people are expecting you to take on their stuff while you're trying to do this. So you're over here like playing a juggling game, trying to take care of yourself and take care of everybody else at the same time. But here's the thing, grown-ass adults know how to take care of themselves. Yes, we all need help from time to time, but if somebody is not, you're going to feel a lot of weight helping other people if that person isn't willing to help themselves. If they're willing to help themselves, it's not as heavy on you, right? So if you're feeling yourself bogged down by other people's problems, that's because those other people are just using you as a dumping ground, basically, okay? And don't get me wrong, I am all for helping folks with their problems. I am all for sitting with them. I've been through it, so I have no problem helping you get through it as well. But you've got to be able to do the work yourself. I can't do the work for you, right? So make sure that you're really keeping that in mind as you're going through the day. Who is using you as an emotional dumping ground, right? Who is keeping you from being able to actually follow your dreams, make your wishes come true? And just like they're weighing you down, right? So you're in the middle of this juggling act, okay? keep that in mind as you go through the day. Clarifiers on our Two of Wands. We've got Justice and the Knight of Wands. Saturn retrograde, being super active right now, is getting a little karmic, right? So this Justice card, this is justice coming out. This is the scales being balanced, I guess you would say, right? And then the Knight of Wands is oftentimes a little bit of feistiness about that, or maybe a little bit of passion about it, right? So what we're seeing here is maybe someone is hitting their karma. Maybe somebody is getting exactly what they deserve and they don't like it, okay? And they might get a little feisty about it. They might try to double down on the things that led them to karma in the first place and come in all a little immaturely and fun and fiery and passionate, trying to keep things lighthearted so that you're not paying attention to what's really going on, right? So if you're seeing some stuff happen that looks like karma is hitting some folks, and those folks are like, oh no, it's not that serious, right? Pay attention to that. If somebody is not dealing with the things that are falling in their lap right in front of them, the difficult things, this is someone who's not going to allow you to deal with your difficult things. It's always going to be oh, that's just life. Gotta let it go, gotta move on type of energy from them, okay? These are the people who are not going to allow you to move forward for yourself, because their expectation is that you give up your happiness, you give up your healing in order for their comfort and their happiness, right? These are people that are not comfortable with dealing with the reality of life. I know I talk about it a lot. I don't know if I've said it on here much, but this is kind of my bone to pick with the High Vibes Only cruise group of the spiritual community, because things aren't always happy. Things are not always butterflies and rainbows. Sometimes things are ugly. They are hard, and there is nothing wrong. That is life. It is life, just life, but you got to deal with it. You can't just brush it off, right? Because when you just brush it off, it gets stuck in your subconscious and you end up spilling it on everybody else. And we really need to be working on that right now and making sure that we are doing our healing so we're not projecting on other people. So if somebody is trying to convince you that everything is fine and dandy, they're not dealing with their stuff, they're going to end up projecting on you. So you're going to need to make some decisions on where you're going to go with that. Are you going to go for it and just be like, oh, okay, we'll just keep going, we'll pretend like everything's fine? Or are you going to make the decision to let that go and actually move forward for yourself and do what you need to do for you? Clarifiers for our Six of Cups. Why are we avoiding the Six of Cups? I think a lot of people's true selves are being revealed right now. And this is, we got Three of Pentacles. One more. And King of Wands. Okay. So it's almost like somebody's coming. You could have someone in your orbit or someone in your past that kind of portrays this image of always fun, always happy-go-lucky, always lots of energy all the time. And there's like this potential of someone like with that kind of portrayal coming in, trying to keep things lighthearted, being like, hey, let's work on it, right? Let's get together, let's sit down, let's figure this out, right? And it's almost like they're coming back with this idea of, well, we can just keep it lighthearted. I can be happy and go lucky, and we can put that mask back on that I had when we first met and pretend to work on it. But what we have on the bottom here is the King of Swords. So your energy is, we need to actually really have the conversation, not keep everything lighthearted and fun and passionate and all of that. We need to have the real conversation. And if we're not having that real conversation, then you need to go. Like, there's no reason. Like, I even had the devil underneath of it. So the biggest energy of today is just making sure that you are paying close attention to people's words and their actions, making sure their actions match their words. You're listening to your intuition. You are following your path regardless of other people's expectations or projections. There's a lot of projections. Also making sure that you are working on yourself so that you're not projecting on others as well. But again, it's a heavy day. We have a lot that we still need to purge over the next couple of weeks. The eclipse is going to be intense. So be conscious in yourself. Be conscious in how you're feeling in a moment. Are you feeling dysregulated? Are you feeling uncomfortable? Who is creating that situation for you? And what decisions do you need to make in order to get out of that and make sure that you're not getting sucked back into the, hey, remember when things used to be fun type of energy, okay?